What's going on, everyone? Bran here from Bloody Breakdown, and we are once again back for another Who Killed Who. This time we're talking Who Killed Who? Scream 2022. All right, so I think if you've been keeping up with this series at home, you all know how this works, but for those who don't, what we're going to be doing here is I'm going to go through and I'm going to give you my take, as it were, on who killed who in yet another Scream film. In these movies, typically there are more than one Ghostface killer. They're hidden behind a mask, and a lot of times I think it's actually pretty interesting and fun to come up with theories on which one of the killers killed which person. So as you can see here, we have the list of victims from Scream 5, aka Scream 2022. Of course, we have Vince Schneider. We have Judy Hicks, Wes Hicks, a guy who I don't think anyone knew the character's name until that some of the Scream 6 promotional material came out having all the victims from previous films in it. But anyway, this is apparently Deputy Clay. So, rip. It's almost as if we hardly knew you, because we didn't. That one hurts still to this day. Dewey Riley. Fun fact, Dewey's theme in the score of the film has been my ringtone ever since this movie came out, and it has not changed. R.I.P. Dewey. And of course, Liv McKenzie. And then here at the bottom we have our killers for Scream 5, Scream 2022, Richie Kirsch and Amber Freeman. So we're going to apply one of these killers here to each victim on the chart to kind of give everyone a visual representation of what we're talking about here. So this is the first movie in the franchise where the opening kill isn't even really an opening kill. It is more of an attack. I think that it's probably the safest bet that attack, although I'm not really focusing on attacks here, was more than likely Amber. Filming that video of herself at some point in time earlier in the day, maybe. It seems like Richie was pretty solidly in Modesto at this point. But once again, that's not a kill, so we're not going to get into that too much here. What we are going to talk about here first is Vince Schneider, the first victim in the film, coming a little bit later, like I said, than most first victims in a Scream film. Now, for me, here's the thing. There's a big battle out there between a lot of Scream fans talking about, did Richie do a single kill in this film, or did Amber literally do everything? And two pieces of dialogue from Scream 6 are mentioned to justify one part of this argument or not. The first piece of dialogue utilized is when Sam is angry and confronting, I won't say who, but the killer or Urs from Scream 6, and she says that Richie made his girlfriend do all the killing. There's another scene where she tells her psychiatrist that Richie and Amber were killing people. So here's the thing. I'm not going to argue on this debate. What I will say is I think that Richie and Amber both did kill people in this film, but we're going to talk about how slanted it may have been toward one way or the other here momentarily. But like I said, first, Vince. It looks to me, based on all the information that I've gathered, Richie's not really a natural-born killer. Let's just say that. Richie's kind of a pussy, as it were. And in that, I think that his kills kind of reflect that. And I think that this is indeed one of those kills. So let me go ahead and grab Richie here and place him next to Vince Schneider, because I believe he's responsible for the death of Vince. It is a very quick jab to an area of the neck where it's one jab is going to do the job. Let's just say that. Richie doesn't have to get his hands very dirty here. And a lot of people say that they think that this is Amber, because we just saw Amber at the bar. We know that she is in the vicinity of Vince, However, it looks like she is shrouded in friends. Her entire friend group is here at this point in time. And as far as Richie's whereabouts, we don't know, because in the very next scene, Sam wakes up and we really don't know how much time has passed. We don't know anything about the passage of time. And, you know, Jenna Ortega's character, Tara, is also out. So no one really has their eyes on Richie, whereas there are eyes on Amber. So even though I think her location may be a little bit more appropriate, we really don't know anything about what Richie does in that time span. And given the fact of how the kill goes down, I think it's safe to say that this one's Richie. Now, next up, we have a double kill, our first double kill in the film, which kind of felt like maybe it could have been an opening kill had things turned out a little differently. But we have returning character Judy Hicks and her son Wes Hicks. Now, for me, you know, listening to any kind of interview that Radio Silence has done about this film, they talk about how, and you know, kind of anybody, any celebrity gives slightly different answers when they're talking about their films and things of that nature. But one thing they have always maintained is that both killers were involved in both of these kills that take place simultaneously. So once again, just going based off what we know about these characters as ghost faces, is that Amber's a little bit more fucking wacko, if we're being honest here. And based on the way in which Judy was killed in broad daylight in a residential neighborhood, hack and slash style, I think that it goes without saying that that was Amber. And since both killers were on the scene here, and Wes's death is once again one knife jab directly to the throat, even though this one there's some resistance, so there's a bit of an interesting kill here. In the end, it is a very, very similar way that Vince Schneider went out. So I am going to have to, once again, give Richie credit for this one as well. So if you're keeping track at home, looks like we got 2 Richie, 1 Amber thus far. So no, I will not be going with that theory that Richie did absolutely nothing. But it is going to get very lopsided from here. So next up on the list is, like I said, a character we didn't even know what his name was until after the movie had already been released and there was promotional material for the next film coming out. At least I didn't. This is a guy who apparently gets his throat slashed in a hospital. A lot of blood. Dude's pretty messed up. And in, I'd say, maybe a scene or 2 later, well, honestly, maybe just a scene later, we see Amber in the ghost face mask, and it has to be Amber because Richie is also in this scene. So I think given the way that Deputy Clay here is dispatched of, I think given, you know, where Richie is on camera, as a matter of fact here, I think that Amber Freeman took out Deputy Clay, and how he'll be missed. We knew so much about him. Now, we're going to keep on rolling here because coming in next is one of the most sad deaths in the history of the franchise. I put it up there with Randy for me personally on it just sucks, but I think this one also goes without saying. This one had to be Amber as well. Let me go ahead and paste her in here. Once again, Richie's in the scene. You see him. Not really much room for argumentation here. And to be honest with you, neither is the next one. We point blank see Amber shoot Liv McKenzie right in the fucking head. And folks, there it is. Is it Amber heavy? Yes, it is. Absolutely. But I don't think it's fair that Richie did absolutely nothing in this film. Now, as far as some of the other attacks, because I've heard people, you know, like when I mentioned attacks, maybe not deaths, but attacks. Like I said earlier, I think it was probably Amber with the attack on Tara. As far as the twins go toward the end of the film, Chad and Mindy, I think that's also split up. I think it goes without saying that Amber attacked Chad. Richie was just pulling into the party when that happened, and I think it goes without saying that Richie attacked Mindy. As you can see at that point in time, Amber is actually with Tara. So, I mean, if you want to go into a little bit more detail with the attacks and things of that nature, I think it's safe to say that they both kind of pulled their fair share of the weight. But when it comes down to the actual kills, Amber was a killing machine in Scream 2022. And, of course, we know that Richie was dispersed of by Sam. In a very violent way, and Amber was dispersed of in the end by Tara after getting annihilated by Gail and Sydney. So there it is. There's every kill we've talked about here in Scream 2022. I think Amber does win for the day, but yeah, Richie's definitely not we're definitely not going to say there's no blood on his hands here. So there it is. So let me know what you all think. Leave your comments down below. Your thoughts. Do you think I got it right? Do you think I got it wrong? Let me know what you think. Let me know who you think killed who in Scream 2022. And also, while you're there, do all the standard YouTube stuff. If you liked it, give me a like. If you've enjoyed it, maybe subscribe. Turn on notifications if you really want me to annoy you with my content. And I guess other than that, the only thing left to say is we will be back next time for one final, at least at this point, one final Who Killed Who for Scream 6. And god damn it, that one's going to be a little bit difficult. Not only is it the newest entry in the Scream franchise, so I haven't had as long with it as I have with the other entries. The thing about this one is, and I don't want to get into spoiler territory, talking about killers, because obviously that'll be in the video itself, but this movie has a hella body count. Scream 2022 had one of the smaller body counts, reminiscent of the first Scream. But this next one, with including Ghostface deaths, has 14 bodies in it, the likes of which I've never seen in the franchise. So it's going to be a doozy to work through. I generally have an outline, but I do want to go back and watch it at least 2 more times before next week, because it gets very crazy. So yeah, join me then. Hope you've all enjoyed. I'm Bran, and this has been your bloody breakdown on Who Killed Who in Scream 2022.